Dan, it's such a pleasure to have you here today to talk about the CGBP exam. First of all, what is CGBP and why do you think it's important for anyone who is practicing international business or is interested in international business, international trade?
Dimy, that's a great question. When you start looking at the range CGBP provides, the expectation of an understanding, kind of a visceral sense of what's going on globally. When you start looking at it from a professional standpoint, somebody who's a practitioner, when you start looking at it from a student's perspective to give you a basis for future activities and knowing the right questions to ask as well as at academia, to be able to present to the students, here's what's going on in the world. When you look at 85% of the global growth is going to happen outside the U.S., if you're not looking at trade as an international activity, you're really missing the boat, metaphorically speaking. When you start looking at the disciplines that are applied to CGBP, the fact that it's a globally recognized certification and really does add to your marketability, and it's a great add to your resume.
Very good, Dan. The Certified Global Business Professional accreditation is provided by NASBITE, the National Associations of Small Business Traders and Educators organization, and it has four categories: international management, international marketing, and, logistics and supply chain, and then trade financing. Now, so what you are saying, if you are a student getting yourself ready to be in international business, for a career in international business and international trade, this is the certification to take to make yourself competitive. And for a practitioner, somebody who is already in international business, you're saying this will make you stand out. This will make you, this will give you the authority that you need to talk about international trade and international business. And then for an academia, somebody in academia, you're saying that can help you prepare your student better to be competitive in the global market, right?
Absolutely. When you start looking at what the certification will provide, and you and I are both trainers for the CGBP exam, what you find is that from a student's perspective, it's giving them the understanding or helping them know what they don't know. Because there are so many aspects of global trade, and it's so easy for a lot of people to come along and say they're experts, when in fact they're not. There may be subject experts on specific types of material. From a student's perspective, it's really important to start opening your eyes in terms of global events, religion, politics, all of the things that impact trade, because trade is not just an economic activity, it's a geopolitical activity. From an academic perspective or a professor's perspective, it's really important to be able to demonstrate the value, the applied skills. Here's what CTPAT might mean, or the advantages of CTPAT, harmonized code, Incoterms. How do you prepare, or what kind of documentation do you need to have for an international transaction? I mean, those are all of the bits and pieces, the tactical pieces that will really mess you up if you want to walk into a situation where you can demonstrate some level of proficiency. From a professor's perspective, from a student's perspective, it's a joint effort of both bringing in new information and of trying to apply that information. And from a professional perspective, it's also important to make sure that you're maintaining your relevance, because there are regulations that change, there are geopolitical activities that change, there are restrictions, there's licensing, all of these bits and pieces that you find anybody who's really good in global trade, they have a network of people that they know they can call on that are subject experts in that specific area. To be a generalist is a great thing because a good generalist has the ability of reaching out and talking to subject experts no matter what it is, whether it's a regulatory issue, a marketing issue, an economic, a financial issue, whatever the case may be. So once again, the generalization approach of CGBP is a benefit for the working professional because we're all pragmatists of a sense. We all need to refresh our skills, and if you're not, you're becoming dated.
Very good, Dan. I think you really hit the nail right on the head, and the only thing I'd like to add is the trade financing aspects. The CGBP program really go into details about how to finance your trade and all the federal resources, all the state resources that are available to small, mid-sized companies and to big companies about how to finance trade. And the CGBP program also go in great details on how to build a winning global business strategy for your company, and how to do market research, how to find out whether there is a true market for you in a particular new country and all of that. So it's really, I mean, both you and I, we are CGBP certified. So, for me, this is the certification out there for international business, international trade. And so that's why we really encourage people to work toward accomplishing this certification. Anything else you would like to add, Dan?
As a matter of fact, you touched on a number of very good points. You start looking at the type of support mechanisms that there are out there. It's amazing. When you first start out, you take all of this responsibility on to assume that you have to know all of the nuances of trade, how to get good financing, what tools are available, who's available, what resources are available. And when you start out understanding that you don't know what you don't know, and there's a lot of material out there and a lot of people and a lot of resources and a lot of organizations that are there to help you become a better practitioner in terms of global trade, there's a monstrous win there. When you start looking at the type of financing that's available, credit insurance, all of the pieces that come along, the financial instruments, whether it's a credit card, whether it's a letter of credit, whether it's a line of credit, an open account, pay in advance. We start looking at Incoterms, harmonized code. All of these bits and pieces are the nuances and the fine-tuning that really do separate those who are successful in global trade and those who are not.
Well, Dan, thank you very much for your perspective on this, and I would like to remind everybody that the Institute for International Business at the John Papageno Entrepreneurial Center at the University of Iowa is offering CGBP prep course online for 6 weeks. And if you are interested, there is a link on the website from where you are watching this video. Please click on that link to find more information on how to register to take the online CGBP prep course.